Hello, everybody. I am going to try and keep this short because this is going to be multiple videos because I just recorded a whole one and it was 12 minutes long. I apologize if I pronounce her name wrong, but the way that I've heard her name pronounced is Rūta Meilutytė, and she is a swimmer who has gone public over the abuse of her coach or former coach. And he would constantly weigh her in front of people and tell her that she was fat. And what is absolutely infuriating is the fact that, all the armchair opinionated people who think that they are experts on coaching and swimming and athletics, and they're not, they're saying things like, well, if you want to be an athlete, you have to be disciplined. If you want to be an athlete, you can't just eat whatever you want. If you want to be an athlete, you don't get to be fat. Excuse me, okay? We need to parse all of this out because you have a coach who is calling a swimmer fat on the day that she broke a record, okay? So fat or not, and you look at photos of her, she's not fat by an objective measure, but whatever, fat or not, she's fit and she's breaking records. So whatever she's doing, however her body is fine. Okay. The issue here is that, and I see this not only in athletics, I see this in the arts as well. You will have coaches and teachers who manipulate and maintain control over athletes and students by ripping them down psychologically, by creating body dysmorphia and eating disorders, because it makes these athletes and these artists and whoever, it makes these individuals easier to control. These are like cult tactics where, cults, sleep deprivation, starvation, and psychological abuse, sometimes physical abuse. We see that in sports. We see people who are being overworked or who are not being allowed to sleep and it's not being emphasized as an essential part of their training. They are being underfed, so they're starving, and then they're being yelled and screamed at and ripped apart, and it makes them easier to control. It does not make them better athletes. And we need to be having a conversation about how we can actually build better athletes, not subservient bodies. And there's a huge difference. I remember when Michael Phelps first came out as a swimming phenom, as one of the best swimmers of all time. And I remember the newspaper delivered to my house, I think it was the Globe and Mail, a 2-page spread of what he ate. We're talking pizzas, plural. And it was this breathless description of he's so phenomenal, he's so fit, and he trains so hard, and he has such an amazing body and metabolism that he's eating all this food. And then we talk about women swimmers and we say you need to eat less? Excuse me? We know that we have been underfueling girls and women in general, but also athletes for generations. And we also know how absolutely essential protein is in being able to rebuild and being able to create a body that is healing and able to recover after a training session in preparation for the next one. We know how important carbs are, also yes in rebuilding, but also carbs in fueling those training and racing sessions. And we know how important fat is for healthy hormones, for joints, for everything, right? So if we are not emphasizing eating protein, carbohydrates, and fat, if we are not emphasizing the importance of fueling enough, if we are not emphasizing, do you feel good in your body? Does your body feel strong? Then we are not building great athletes. It's so infuriating because I grew up in this world and it feels like it hasn't changed. I mean, look at the gymnasts. The gymnasts are getting strong and they're getting fed because they don't all look like they are 11 years old. They're also able to have longer careers. Anyway, I'm going to cut it short here because I have so much more to say on this topic. But this is my opening salvo on it, that we need to stop talking about women and girl athletes in such unscientific and abusive ways. This is not how we get the best out of ourselves and out of these incredibly gifted athletes. This is not how we develop incredibly gifted athletes. This is not how we create an athlete with a long career who is going to win lots of medals and set new records. And we need to be feeding them. So this is part 1. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other.